Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I'm really excited to show you this new Daffodil Dream and the dies, which are daffodil dies. Now, this is coming in the new January to June mini catalogue. And it is just, it's lovely. If you like daffodils, then you've got these lovely daffodil images in the stamp set. You've got a pretty butterfly, you've got some splatters, and you've got sort of a bordery pattern thing. Easter blessings and happy Mother's Day. However, you can put whatever sentiments you want. I mean, daffodils are really beautiful spring flowers. Photopolymer, so it's really good. As you can see, I haven't even got it out of the box yet because it's only just arrived. And then the dies. Now, the dies are amazing. You can buy them both together as a bundle. You get 10% discount, or you can just get the dies. I got them both because I love these images and I quite enjoy colouring, but the dies hold themselves well on their own. So let me have a look at them. I've put them onto, let me turn it over. I've put them onto a magnetic sheet, and I've put them onto two magnetic sheets because there's so many of them that they were really too tight on one. So I've put them onto two, and I'm just going to get them out so we can take a really good look at them, because when you first look at them, you look at, well, as I did, I was like, oh my goodness, look at all of those. However, if you just sort of work systematically with them, they are really quite easy to do. So you have outside pieces and you have inside pieces. Your outside pieces need to be a little lighter than your inside pieces. So let's work on these four pieces first. So these are our leaves. You've got them pointing in the different directions. So I've die cut them out so we can have a look at them and see how easy they are. I've done a few because what I would say with this is it's quite an intricate die and it takes a little while to put it all together. So I would suggest doing batches. You know, do a whole pile at the same time, and then, you know, keep them in a bag so that they're ready for when you need to use them. So we have got outside leaves like this, and then, so those are the outside leaves. I've just cut a few of them, as I said. And then you've got them facing the other direction. Okay, so we've got one in one direction, one in the other, like that. And we've then got our little stems with the tops of the, where the daffodil's going to go. And again, they face in either direction. So let me get the one that's going the other way. Okay, so we've got one going in one direction, one going in the other direction, which is really good because if you're building up flowers, it's good to have them in both directions. So those are those four pieces. Now I'm going to get, I can put those out of the way for now. We're going to do a card at the end of it, but I've just die cut out the pieces apart from these pieces here. Obviously you've got two pieces which let me get the stamp set out again. You've got two outside pieces here which die cut the shapes of the daffodils, and you've got one which will cut out the outside of the butterfly. So those three are pretty self-explanatory, and you know, I don't need to explain how to use those ones. Okay, so we have, when I said you do outside and inside, let me just bring down what we've got on here because I've die cut them out. So if we look at, and I've put them together on my sheet so you can see them fairly easily. So those are our outside pieces, and I've done those slightly lighter than I've done the inside. So those are our outside pieces. Those two, and they're both exactly the same because you need to layer them up. So you need two of them because when we put the flower together, we do that. Okay, so you've got two of those, you've got two of those. You've then got outside, you've got this one, and then that one is our inside piece. Okay, we've then got one which looks a bit like a propeller blade, and again an outside and an inside, so an outside and an inside. So those are fairly sort of, you know, self-explanatory once you start die cutting them out. Then we've got, these are our two outsides, so those are these two, and these two are our two insides, so those are the two insides. We've then got a bud, so that's the outside of the bud, and that's a little inside piece, which is this one. So those are our buds. Then we've got a couple of extraordinary ones down here. Differing views on these. I have cut them out in, so one of them is like this, which is sort of like a little squiggly inside-y piece of some sort. And then there's this one which looks like a clock face, which has a hole in the center. Okay, so there are differing views on this. Some people seem to think that this piece is the inside of the you know, like the stamens inside, but then why would it have a hole in it? I think it's to go with the butterfly, and I will show you completed. That is the butterfly. Whoops, that's the butterfly completed. So if I put that there, you can then see it fairly easily. So the butterfly I have taken, we'll do the butterfly first because it's an easy one. I've taken the outside, the inside piece is embossed. Don't know whether you can see that on that colour, but it is embossed. So you can build up your butterfly. So I'm just going to put a little bit of wet glue. With these, I do suggest using wet glue because it allows you some wiggle room. So we're going to put this in on the centre like that. So that's the butterfly like that. And then if you look at this piece, which is this tiny little piece here, I think, I'm just going to put a little bit of wet glue on here, that it goes down the centre like this. So I would say that it goes down the centre, and I'm just lining it up so that it's quite straight. You put this little piece in on the centre. It's quite small. I could do with some tweezers, but as you know, I haven't got any tweezers yet. Or I have, but I do find tweezers quite difficult. So I would put it down in on here like that. And I think that that goes down like that. It looks as if it should. You know, you've got the head, you've got the base. It looks as if it should go onto that butterfly. So I think that that's what that piece is for. Okay. However, and I'm going to show you how to put these all together, but that's the main flower. So that's the main daffodil when it's put together, and I will show you how to do that. And some people have said that these pieces go together. So you would put that sort of in the center, and then you'd have this piece coming out like that. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't think that looks right. I really don't. I don't like it. I don't think it looks particularly good. You know, this one tuck it right in underneath on there and do a few of them. Maybe I'm not sort of convinced. I'm not convinced. I don't particularly like it, but let's put these flowers together. So these are the 3 flowers that you will create that you can then do in different directions. So you've got, just going to move this over here. You've got one which you can have, as I say, you can have it facing any direction you want, really, because the trumpet, once it's on, you can put it wherever you want. And then if you get your stem, so I'm going to put the stem in underneath. Now, with the stem, because it's got this bulbous part here, I wouldn't tuck it right up in like this to make sure I don't get, whoops, it caught on my sleeves. Let me just roll them up a little bit. If you put it right up in there, you then get a straight stem. So because it's got this sort of bulbous part, I would make sure that you're literally just tucking that in, and then the rest of it is coming down like that. Okay, so wherever you put it, let's put it in like that. You want that bulbous bit to be there because that distinguishes it as a daffodil. And you're wasting it otherwise. So you can cut it down from there, but I wouldn't sort of poke it up too high. This is the second one. And again, when it's together, you can put it at different angles. I've put the trumpet right in the center. You can offset it a bit. And again, you've got your stem that comes down, and you've got that nice sort of bulbous bit on there. So I think that that's really rather good. And then the last one is our little bud. And the bud, we do need to take that a little bit further down because you don't really want that bit sticking up. So with this one, I would put it down so that this part here comes in onto there. So you can have it down like that, or you could put it in that way. So you can have it either way. You can put it in like that because, as I say, it's just coming as a bulb or a little flower that's just coming out, or you can do it the other way and you can put it over the top, depending how you want it. Sorry, my fingers aren't working. You can put it in over the top if you want it to come down like that. So it's entirely up to you. I would probably do it that way, actually, thinking about it, because I think that that then looks as if it's coming out. Okay, so that's them completed. Let's have a go at putting them together so we can see exactly what bits we're putting where. So I'm going to put these dies back in here now because you can see how we're using them. So we need to take these 2 pieces, which are exactly the same, and they are slightly different as they come round. So you can sort of see that they're slightly different. And this one is fatter than these 2. So if I look at this piece on here, you want the piece that's fatter to go at the top. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see that there is one piece that's fatter than the other. And it has, I don't think it's got any other sort of distinguishing marks. If I turn it round, no, it hasn't. You can just see that there's one that's just fatter. And in on here, you can see that again, that's fatter. So if I put that out like that in on the center, that comes perfectly in on there. If I turn it round, you've got, no, that probably, you could probably do it in different directions, actually. That's sort of smaller on there. just going to turn it round again and see if it looks. Yeah, that one's not quite right, but they will go virtually any direction, to be quite honest. So let's just put some glue on here, just down to the points. And I'm going to do it on the way that I said. So that's the fattest piece, and I think that that's the fattest piece up on there. So I'm going to put that one in up like that, that one in that way. And as I say, if you pick it up, you can just sort of move it in, and you then have that piece in over the top. Okay, so let's have the other one, because we need two of them. So again, I'm just going to stick this up on here. And I'm having a look to see which one is fatter than the other. See, that one to me is the fattest one. So I like to put the fat one up at the top, that one down at the bottom, and then I'm just going to move it in so that it goes in each one of the pieces. And then we need to put this one in on top of there. Okay, so I'm just going to put a bit of glue in on here, and let's put this in like that, so that goes in the center. And that's our outer piece on that one. And then we need a trumpet. So the trumpet is really easy. So you've got an outside piece and the inside piece that we cut. So we'll just put this in. But you can see that it takes a little while to build it. So it's something that you need to be able to do and make a few of them. And that's why I said I would spend sort of an evening building some up, because it will take you a little while. Okay, and then we can put it on wherever we want. So we can have it there, we can have it there, we can have it straight up. You know, it's entirely up to you where you want to put it. I think I'm going to have it just about there. And I'm only gluing sort of just the bottom bit, because we don't really need the top bit to come out. So I'm going to do it this way. Just put that in like that. So that's that one done. And that was the other one. So it's just two different colorways that I've done. And I've just used a lighter and a darker yellow. So I think this was Daffodil Delight and Bumblebee, and this is, I don't know. They were literally scraps that I had, but you know, go in colours that make them look like a daffodil. So now we're going to do the other one. Now this one is a little bit different. So we've got this piece here, and we've got, this is the inside piece. So again, it's very easy to see which piece this is. Okay, so this has to go in on here, like that. And then I'm going to pick it up and make sure that it's all in. But that little point there goes down on there, so it's quite an easy one to put together. So that's that bit. Then we've got these helicopter blades, or you know, plain blades that are on here. And again, there's an outside and an inside, and we need to just line up the center part, and then it will go in to the side that gives us these little wings. Now these need to be facing down, like a you know, like a moustache, as it were. You don't want them facing up that way, you want them facing down. Okay, so as I say, so it looks a bit like a moustache, and that is then going to go this is going to go in on the center like that, so that they come at the bottom. So again, I'm just going to put some glue in the center of this here, lie it down, and then I'm going to put this in on the center there. Okay, so that's where it goes, literally just in the center, and it then gives you that extra little piece that comes down at the bottom, which I think is rather good. Now we've got to do the trumpet again. All the trumpets are the same, so it doesn't matter whether we're doing the big one or the small one. The trumpets are the same. And before I glue this down, I am going to try this little tiny piece here. So if we're saying that this is going to come in there, and then that will come in over the top. Okay, yep, I can see that working. So this is that funny little flower thing. We're going to just glue that up, and we need to do this before we put the other piece on. So that's going to go in on the center, just in on there. And then this little stemmy piece, or this little clock dial, which I'm sure is for the butterfly, but it might have a double use. And there have been murmurs that it is part of the stamen, so let's put that in like that, and we'll have that so that it comes sort of in the center. Put that in. Then this piece is going to come in over the top. As I say, I'm not convinced about the that little flowery one. I think works. I'm not sure about this stamen, but we're going to try it for one and just see. So that's then got to come in over the top. Now you see it's not going to even show on there, is it? So maybe that piece has to come on the outside. As I say, I'm not overly convinced with that piece. I'm really not. I think that works because that will come in on the center. Whether you actually need it or not, I don't know. I don't know. As I say, I'm not overly convinced with those pieces. I don't think they necessarily attract to the thing. Now, putting this one on, you can put it on so that it comes, let me put it on here. So you can put it so that it comes right up at the top there and sticks out. You can put it down a bit so that it comes out at the side. I'm going to put it right at the top so that the base comes and it covers that center flower on there, or center, the petal part of it, or the base of it. Okay, so that then it comes like that. That looks okay, actually, that centerpiece. The clock part really doesn't, and even if you put it on the outside, as we tried earlier on, I don't think it works. So I think that little yellow piece works, but the other doesn't. Now we've just got our little bud, and the bud, again, we're just going to glue this little piece and we can put this in on here like that. And we want this to just go down at the bottom, in on there. And then we've got a little piece of the bud piece coming up. Okay, so those are all our pieces done and together. And the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to try and build a very simple card with them to just see how it goes. So I've got a piece of basic white, and let me just make sure that I've got this down in the size that I want. So I want this to be 5 1/4. Is that no, it's a 5 1/2. We'll do it as a 5 1/4 because then I can do a mat on it. So I'm just, you won't be able to see this, I'm doing it on there by 3.5, which is perfect. So that's my normal card base that I use in the UK. So I think I'm going to try it this way up, and we will have some stems and things first. So let's have one like this. And I think a lot of them are going to have to be cut down a bit, aren't they? Because they're a bit too long. Let's work out where we're going to put them. I think I'm going to have the paler one. So we'll have one down like that. Okay, so I'm going to cut down the stems. Let's see, I've got a huge pair of scissors here, that'll do. So these are going to come down to about there, I think. So let's put a little stem like that. And that's going to come in on there like that. Okay, so just need to put that on first. And again, I'm using wet glue for everything. It's really easy to just take it for little pieces like that. So, and I'm not doing anything with the background. I'm just sort of adding it up or putting it up so that it comes as I want it. And then this one is going to come in like that. You've got quite a bit of dimension on here, so I wouldn't add any extra dimension, because then you end up with quite a overly wide flower, I think. But I like that one, so we'll have that in like that, going up in that direction. Really, really lovely. I do love daffodils. They are one of my favourite. Now we need to have, let's have one facing the opposite direction. And we'll have this one. Do we want it lower or higher? Where's that one going to go? Probably down like that. So, and have it to there. And they're not going to be completely together yet. So let's just put that to there. So you can use smaller scraps. I did them full length. But to be quite honest, I don't think we really need to have them full length. So let's have, this one's going to come down like that. So let's put that in about there. So I'll have this one over, where did we say this was going to come? About there, wasn't it? So that goes there. Put this one on. As I say, it's quite nice. You get quite a lot of height with it. So, you know, it does give that sort of three-dimensional look. I'm going to put that in just like that. That's going to probably just come outside, isn't it? Try and tuck it in so it just comes in on there. It's probably a little bit close, but that's all right. We'll put that one in. And then we'll have... Should we have that piece up there? Length of stem's that going to be? Probably in there. I'm going to try and tuck it in between this lot and have this one with this coming up there. So that's going to go in like that, isn't it? Okay, so take that one out. I can chop that down after as we go. But if you're somebody that likes daffodils like I do, I think daffodils are lovely. A lot of people are either a daffodil or a tulip person, and there is a beautiful tulip set in there as well. I'm afraid I'm a daffodil person. And we've had tulips before, but we really haven't had any daffodils, or, you know, nothing as intricate as this. So I think that these are really lovely. I'm just going to tuck it in a bit like that. Not stick it down completely until I've done this piece. But then I can tuck this one in. So it comes in like that. Then that can go down to there. And I can just take this piece off like that. So those are our flowers. Now we can put some of these lovely leaves in. So let's have, we want to have one sort of that way, don't we? See, they don't need to come very long at all, do they? Because it is quite a big, just going to tuck this one in like that. Put it in. I'm going to take that off at the bottom, like that. And we've got some of these ones this way. So let's have a, I want to have one just sort of up. I really want it tucked in on there. Maybe I'll tuck it up like that. That'll work, won't it? I'm just going to cut that out off for now. We'll have another one coming up, maybe through on the side there. That's going to have to come down a bit, isn't it? It's going to have to come down to there. So let's stick that one on. Really is 3D scene building with this. So that can come in there. Put that one down. Like that. So we'll have this one. I do quite like that tucked in like that. Although we could have it coming up a bit higher, couldn't we? Stick it in and see how far it comes up. So let's pop this one in. As I say, I think this set is going to be used a lot. There's also other flowers that you can make, and so hopefully I'm going to show you some different flowers. Have I got any more leaves left? Oh, I've got a couple. It is the sort of thing that you want to have quite a few. That's quite nice. We'll have that one tucked in there. Because yeah, I think there's other flowers that we can make with this quite easily. So I'm going to have a go at doing some different flowers over the holiday period. Let's tuck this one in, just sort of like that. Okay, I'm going to just take those bits off the bottom like that. So those are our flowers in on there, and then what I'm going to do is, and I'm probably not going to do it now because this is going on for too long, this video, I'm going to put a ribbon and a sentiment and things along the bottom, and then and mount it on probably a green, maybe, or maybe a yellow. Yeah, the green would work quite nicely. So mount it on a green, and I will show you the finished one because you'll see it on the front. And we could put, haven't really decided yet, but we could put just that would be quite sweet as well, wouldn't it? Just having a little butterfly coming through on there as well. I think that would look quite nice. So ideas for you, but the main thing was to show you that there are so many dies in this set, but once you start looking at putting them together, they're not as complicated as you would imagine. And it's the Daffodil Daydream, which we haven't even touched. That's the stamp set, and the dies are, turn it onto the other side, Daffodil dies. So very easy to remember, Daffodil dies. And you don't need to have the stamp set if you don't want to, because you can build all of the scenes with the daffodils and any other flowers you want just with the dies. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.